There were two chambers that sort of developed in the Northland. I mean, the Northland was an area annexed by Kansas City in the 50s and 60s for the most part. Before 1949, cities didn't go across county boundaries. So after the change in the Missouri Constitution, they went north.
It was interesting to see really the level of civic participation that was almost demanded of the community.
Prior to 1992, we actually had two chambers. We had the Northtown Chamber and the Platte County BPA, and they both struggled for money. They both struggled to get a quality executive director. They both struggled to make an impact on everything. Merging the chambers was very traumatic, but it was the best thing that we've ever done. It put the chamber in a position to be a force in the Northland, to be the single solitary place to go in the Northland.
To watch how the chamber has evolved over the years, we've had some very, very good leadership within the chamber. A variety of different types of personalities, different types of people with different strengths, and no matter who has been in the chair's position, we've stayed true to course.
It's fun looking back 20 years is understanding, and an important part of looking back is understanding the context of where we've come from. There's so many folks that can show up today and drive through Zona Rosa, drive through I-29 and Berry Road and say, well, that was always going to happen. That would have happened anyway. Well, it wasn't happening until folks like the Northland Chamber, the Platte County EDC, and the leadership of both organizations and the community stepped up and said, you know, tomorrow can be better than what today and what yesterday was.
You know, to contrast that is with 152. 152 is now driven on by all the Northlanders and is something that they take it just for granted. And for those of us who've been around a long time, remember Berry Road. At that time, it was really the most dangerous road in Kansas City. When the chamber came around, 152 became one of their first priorities. And now the Northland really works as one community, and 152 is the way that people travel between Platte and Clay County. And it's a great asset that the chamber was very, very involved in.
Actually, the chamber was in the know about a new terminal 2 years ago, before the public and even our own elected officials had a chance to look at it and comment it. So we wanted to gauge the reaction of the community, and this was the place to do it. And I wanted the input of the leaders at that time. And because of such a tremendous outpouring of support for this, we took it one step farther.
One of the other accomplishments, again, dealt with roads, and that was 169 and the interchange at 96th Street and 108th Street. And by May, I believe it was, we had interest from MoDOT, and the wheels were turning to get the thing funded. By the end of the year, design work was close to being ready to start. So that was, again, at the emphasis of the chamber and pushing from the chamber committees and staff to get that accomplished, and those two things were benefit the Northland greatly.
And another critical piece that the Northland Chamber played is Major Lockhart, Shoal Creek Valley Police Department Division. He had set up a 152 traffic safety study since Flintlock and Church Roads at 152 were the two highest accident rated areas. And in our newest announcement that just came in October is with Ford doing a over $1 billion investment in their plant. $270 million coming into Liberty as far as an integrated stamping plant. The Flintlock flyover will be very, very critical for those workers and suppliers getting to and from the facility.
The city has been very active in Northland leadership. In the last 4 years, we have sent 7 staff and elected officials through Northland leadership.
It came along for me at a very important stage. It was my first year here in North Kansas City, and not knowing the community all that well, it was a wonderful opportunity to get to learn about the Northland, but to also do it with a group of people that I've become very close friends with and have maintained those contacts, both professionally as well as otherwise.
I think the education banquet is a great vehicle to recognize the value of education in our community. Our institution believes very strongly in financial education and are engaged in a lot of direct activities, and I think being supportive of the educational experience that's in the Northland is a great benefit for us.
So my side has kind of been on the education side, but the banquet has always been amazing because you look at it as being a Academy Awards for the teachers.
You know, the Chamber has been such a great partner in the past, and as we look forward about what is happening in public education in the state of Missouri and in our country as a whole, the role of advocacy that the Chamber of Commerce has played for public education has been very valuable. It will be even more critical going forward that we have a strong partnership and a strong voice with our legislators, both at the state level and the federal level.
For years, the biggest issue living north of the river was crossing the river into downtown. And a group here at the Chamber got very involved in what then became known as the River Crossing Committee. And out of the River Crossing Committee, they were able to plan and help and then secure over $200 million to create now what we have as the Bond Bridge that people drive on every day.
Dick Howick, who was the past chair, did just an awesome presentation on behalf of the Northland Regional Chamber, and his dedication to get that bridge and the work done and accomplished in the time frame it does was just amazing. And it really boiled down to the Northland Chamber was the driving force that got the bridge and all the infrastructure associated with that accomplished in the time frame that it did.
Well, probably the highlight of the year is the Washington trip. Just being able to go to D.C. with a lot of business leaders in a small group, meeting with our elected officials one-on-one, not meeting with their aides, but meeting with them, and then getting a tour around the Capitol building by Representative Graves has always been a highlight. But just getting to go to Washington with the people that matter in the community, that's really great.
The folks that go on that trip are usually completely blown away by what it is that we put together. And a lot of this is Sheila's work of putting together that kind of hardcore day.
Then you started hearing, even in the days when I was on the city council back in the 1980s, the Northland beginning to beat the drum through the Northland Chamber that we are here open for business and we can compete not only with south of the river, but we can compete south of Canada. And so we all, I think, in the metropolitan area benefit from the growing strength and visibility of the Northland Regional Chamber.
Well, I believe that Northland Chamber is uniquely positioned to represent all of the Northland, whether it be business, education, community, healthcare. No other organization has the opportunity to have that broad stance. And the opportunity to really represent us in a way that is well respected in the community, in the state legislature, and even in Washington, D.C.
Some of the trends that are really interesting for people that people don't realize is that the Northland has grown by leaps and bounds the last 20 years since the Chamber has actually developed. And over the last 16 years, out of the 20 years, we have exceeded 800 building permits over those years, which is very unheard of. I mean, we have blown every record possible within the growth sectors, and the Northland, actually from a Kansas City perspective, is the growth area for the city.
A lot has happened in relationship to ball diamonds. We've added about 34 ball diamonds north of the river in that period of time. We've added 25 playgrounds north of the river. All of that through some chamber involvement, through the advocacy to say parks are important.
I do truly believe it's a regional chamber of commerce. When I walk in the room or I sit in a board meeting and I see all of the school boards representative or the mayors of the various cities involved, but it's nice to see all of them and what their concerns are and what they are fighting for, and that all of us ultimately are on the same team. We all want the same things for the Northland.
Certainly Platte and Clay counties, and we all play a role in that. It's kind of like the chamber's success is our success and vice versa. It's all working together toward a common goal, and Northland may not be the best kept secret like it used to be.
And we're now the place where everybody recognizes that we are the place to go. And so if you want to be a member of the organization in the Northland, and I say the organization because that's what I mean, if you want to be the organization, a member of it in the Northland, then you have to join the Chamber.
I think the people that were involved really believe that they have made a difference, and I think the people in the community also look to those people and say they truly made a decision that has made a difference to the quality of life, to the business community, to all the different aspects that make up a community.